Good evening, everyone. Welcome to yet another Hen Live. Let's start with introducing Hen. Hen is a community of women entrepreneurs just like you to inspire, inform, and support. Hen brings together women entrepreneurs to share experiences and support each other so that we can celebrate and share our wins, inspire each other, and foster a strong sense of community. My name is Ragvi Khurana. I'm the founder of Nazaria. Nazaria works with 30 plus artisans across 15 states in custom services in the interior and furniture space, where we promote traditional art in modern areas and modern spaces as well. Today, we have a very interesting guest and a very interesting topic, I think, that is relevant to every single entrepreneur out here. We're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about agreements. We're going to talk about what do we do, what does every woman do, or every woman must look into before the money starts leaving us, in terms of agreements, in terms of from a CA point of view. So today we have Lakshmi with us. Lakshmi is a chartered accountant and a certified fraud examiner based in Alappuzha, Kerala. She works in FEMA compliance, income tax litigation, and cross-border advisory areas where mistakes are expensive and often discovered too late. With over 12 years of practice with clients ranging from individuals to corporates and across diverse geographies, she has appeared before the income tax authorities and advised NRIs and businesses on high-stakes financial decisions. Her work sits at the intersection of money movement, taxation, risk, regularity, clarity, and compliances. Welcome, Lakshmi, today, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Ragvi. That was a pleasant introduction. I'm very glad that I could have some conversation with you. Thank you.
Let's begin, Lakshmi. I'm very excited to hear because I'm an entrepreneur. Everyone, all of us here in this group are entrepreneurs, and we are very curious to know how contracts affects our money per se. So to start with, when I say contracts, what kind of contracts do entrepreneurs need to deal with, or are they just legal contracts, or is there anything else as well?
Let us put this into another question point of view. So, we have been having subscription to various platforms, right? GPT, Claude, Canva. So, when you are making that click, okay, agreeing for the subscription, you're having a contract, right? That you are
Okay.
going to pay that price, okay? Your billing cycle. So that $20, okay, that is an amount of inflow that you are going to make. It's not I am promising to pay kind of, not only that. So the subscription, the salary, you're having an employee, you are promising him to pay this much amount of will be given to his bank account as remuneration for the services he has rendered, right? So I'm not saying that from a holistic point of the contracts that coming from the paper point of view, these are often the contracts that we often miss, right?
Wow, that's you're scaring me right now. I thought it was just those agreements that you do with, say, certain stakeholders or clientele, but clearly not. So, when there are so many kinds and so many varied kind of contracts that we deal with, why do founders usually miss risks in these agreements?
See, usually when founders, when we start these contracts or we sign them, it has usually happens in two ways. And not in normal point of view, right? Maybe they are in a rush, okay, or maybe they are saying that, okay, I trust you. Let us do this and let us figure it out later. Okay, because on the base of this trust situation, we will say that in Hindi, what you say, Zuban pe, right? Because that trust it will be there, right? But did I lost you?
Yeah, I lost you a little bit. Could you repeat that, please?
Yeah. I'm saying that usually founders, they will have this, they will sign this when people have the trust factor in place, or when they are in a rush. When they are in a rush, usually our mind is programmed in such a way that we will not be able to we will not be able to give the attention to the details, or
Okay.
if it will be in such a way that if we are in a rush manner, we will not be able to give attention to the detail. Or if we trust the other person completely, we will not, okay, I trust you, let us not decide on this at this point of time. But when it circumstances change, it can have a really good or bad impact on the financial outflow, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And do circumstances usually change? This is a personal question.
It can happen, right?
It can happen, for sure, for
That
sure.
is the business.
I lost you there for a minute again. So just give us a minute. Yeah, Lakshmi, can you hear us now? Yeah, can you hear us now?
Yeah.
There's a slight technical glitch, but we'll sort that out. Yeah, Lakshmi, is it fine now?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, it's very interesting that you said it's either that we're too fast, or we trust someone too much, or we trust someone for that matter, right? But mishappenings can happen, issues can happen, and that these are primarily the two reasons that we miss risks in agreement. Correct?
Yes, of course. And may I ask you a personal question? You are a founder, right? Have
Yes.
you read the contracts which your
So
company is?
I read all my contracts when it comes to my vendors and customers, but I do not read any subscriptions or any salary part contracts. So that is an eye opener for me today as well. Because I mean, when you're doing subscriptions, it's kind of very fast and you don't look into it. So you're just like, you just want to get the work done as a founder because there's so much to do. But I would love to know if there are loopholes that we can cover up, and what we should look, what we shouldn't look at, for that matter.
Yeah, the
So you,
subscription,
yeah.
subscription part, let me put it this way from the finance point of view. You are subscribing to it. Maybe it will have a glitch that, even if you're subscribing after 1 month, the whole 12 months will be charged, right?
Right,
So
right.
maybe after 28 days, you are saying that, okay, I don't want to go with this. This is not, but in then when you're clicking for the, cancel this, it will be having that, we will be charging for the 1 year because you agreed it. So it is
Okay,
costing you money on the table, right?
okay, okay. When you say about money, let's talk about cash flow as well. I'm very interested to see that. Um, do agreements affect cash flows in real life?
Say from the point of view of this simple subscriptions, we are
Hmm.
having a number of tools and number of utilities. I'm all in for AAs, I'm all in for subscriptions, and all in for automation. So whichever tool which we can make our life easy. But from a startup point of view or from a founder point of view, whether this subscription is giving me that much revenue or that much input which I am leaving on the table, or if from the subscription point of view, if is it having any cancellation penalty clauses, right?
Okay.
I'm paying for n number of AI tools, but is that n amount which I'm spending on table, am I getting output out of it?
Okay. And is it the same for contracts, from salary contracts, vendor customer contracts, or is it different?
Salary contracts, okay. Let me put it this way: when you're having a salary, I mean, just randomly saying, okay,
Yeah.
when you're having a salary agreement, they may be having some clauses that some notice period must be there, or you may be compensated for this and this. So if I'm coming, if I'm your employee, and if I'm coming, say Rakvi, this is mentioned as per this contract. Okay, I'm putting my notice period. And if you have not planned that cash flow, what is going to
Okay.
happen. I mean, right now I'm taking this as a hypothetical example since you told me that you have never
Hmm.
read those salary compensation structure or the HR related things. So
Right.
you have to
Okay.
map the cash flow or project the outflow, right?
Okay. And in terms of contracts with clients and other stakeholders, what are the
Uh,
small things that we need to look into
Small
that quietly
things,
drain the money?
yes. Vendors, say for example, if it's a milestone related project which you're handling, how the payment structures are considered, and are so for example, recently I vetted a contract. I came through a contract where it was told that the payment will be made because there were a lot of people to the whole work. So the payment will be made to each party until the whole process is complete. Say for example, if you are giving the service at point A and it requires 10 points to get completed, your whole working capital cycle is getting affected, right?
Okay, yes.
So maybe you delivered the work at this point and then you had to reach to the point there, which is
Okay.
no fault of yours.
Okay. So when you
But
what you're saying is that when we're looking at these contracts, these are the small pointers
yeah,
or the
small
scope of work
mistakes.
that we need to kind of clearly look into.
Yes,
Correct?
people often overlook, right? So when they raise it, then the purchase manager or the vendor then may say, no, you agreed it, your signature is there, right? You will wait till the completion of the whole milestone, right?
Okay. Interesting. That's actually quite interesting because I now while you're saying this, I can remember areas and contracts where I've missed that point. So thank you for that.
And this is a real
But
life example I came across, so that is why I'm saying.
yeah, but are there any specific clauses that we should look into to create? I mean, or are there any clauses that kind of create the biggest financial risk?
uh, be, yes, of course, maybe in case of founders, maybe one is exiting. So I would
Okay.
suggest always look for any non-compete clause. Say
Okay.
that may be having some clauses like I will not be competing, or I will not be having this idea, or I will not be competing, or I will not be doing any kind of business or doing any kind of networking, something like that, which restricts your movement or which restricts your business structures, right? So always look into those clauses, because these are the small things which can be worked out in the very beginning, which can have a big impact on the whole nature of the business.
Okay. So you're saying, I think I lost you there for a minute. Um, are you there? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So I'm just saying, just for my understanding, so you're saying that the clauses that we do need to look into primarily is the exit clause.
exit clause, yes.
That
Exit
is the
clause,
most important
non-compete
one.
clause.
Okay. Are there also any personal risks that we need to take care of, or uh, while we're looking at the contract, or when does the contract become personal for that matter in terms of the risk of it?
If you're signing on a personal behalf, say for example, I guess you are the director of a company, right?
Right.
So maybe while applying for a bank loan, if you're giving your personal guarantee,
Mm-hmm.
so you yourself guarantee.
I lost you there for a minute. We'll just wait for you to come back. There's a network glitch, so we'll just wait for Lakshmi to come back. Audience, do you have any questions that you want to ask? Please feel free to ask them now. Yeah, while everyone is asking questions, Lakshmi, can you hear us now?
Yes,
Yeah, okay. So we were talking about personal risk.
yes,
Yeah, could you tell us more about that, please?
yes. I was telling that, say for example, anything that you are signing on a personal behalf, you are liable for it personally. To put it into simple words, if you're giving a guarantee for the company on your personal behalf, so you're personally liable for that. It's not a
Okay.
corporate guarantee. Sometimes uh, the banks, say for example, if you're going for a bank loan, director's personal guarantee is also required.
Okay.
So in that point of time, you as an individual is responsible. So these
Okay.
are the small things that one should look into.
Okay. So when as founders,
Yeah.
as founders or directors, we primarily have to sign on everything with our name, right? So does that mean that we're completely like our personal risk is very high in that case, or we're
It's
liable
not about
rather
the
than?
risk, directors, you are directors, you are exercising the responsibilities on behalf of shareholders, right? So you
Right.
have to take what is for the best interest of the company. So risk part is another, but then duty part is another. So my advice would be read, understand, and then sign.
Okay. Okay. We have a question here. Let's take a quick question.
Yeah.
Um, Sorry, Ruchi is saying that the last was in a quotation where the negotiation was on delayed payment and extra charges on feedback delayed by X number of days. Um, she had a long debate on such a case. She's just giving an example per se. But her question then is how to navigate through such lines, because creative team wants to safeguard themselves, but delays in feedback is possible due to work pressure. Should I repeat the
Good.
question again?
Yes, I mean, I get it. So, delayed payment was in a quotation where the negotiation was on delayed payment and extra charges on feedback delayed by X number of days, and had a long debate on such clause. So maybe we can add such, clauses where Ruchi, that a kind of milestone kind of clauses, right? Whether after this is achieved, we will be raising this amount, and after this much is achieved, you will be raising this amount. It's always uh, better to have the clauses discussed with the other party well in advance, so that we will not burn the bridge, and then put it in writing.
Okay, but usually what happens with the feedbacks? Because usually when you're working with a partner or any kind of a stakeholder, sometimes feedbacks get delayed. How do you manage that into a clause in a contract?
Maybe how is it, can you please run me through that example?
So, for instance, I'll just give you an example. For instance,
Yeah.
there's a digital marketing agency, or for instance, for me, I'll give you
Yeah.
my example. Nazaria wants to hire a digital marketing agency to work
Yeah.
for promotion, lead generation of our business.
Yeah.
And we've done our milestone, we've done our scope of work completely in detail, added that in the contract. But for instance, the milestones are not achieved because I am unable to give them a feedback, um, or they are unable to give me a feedback, so on and so forth. How do we manage that I mean, are there any things that we need to manage in the contract when that is concerned?
You can
So
include
this
that.
this would delay the milestone as well, just to say so.
Yes, of course. You can include that process note and then add some clauses, because right now, whatever you are saying, I'm just, from that understanding, I'm just suggesting. I don't know the
Yeah.
whole picture. You can include that process note, right? This is the step, and this after one process is complete, and then we can give one chance, right? And then add one more chance to it. And if after this one chance is not completed, then it can go to the next level, right? So maybe
Okay.
on that lines, because I'm not well versed with the your structure completely and process
Yeah.
completely, so I'm not able to give this uh, a
No,
hundred
no,
percent. Yeah.
that's fine. From what I understand, you're saying after every milestone or scope or in the scope of work, we should be very clear with giving chances to both parties and mention
Yes.
that in the contract, so that all these risks are mitigated for that matter.
Yes.
Right? Brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant. Also, when we're talking about these contracts and agreements and different kinds of subscriptions and salary contracts for that matter, are there any clauses that affect future growth or flexibility that we should look at?
Yeah, that is what I told you, right? The exit clause.
The,
Say, for example, if I'm exiting from the company as a founder, say, if I'm co-founder of your company, and if I'm exiting, if am I able to, take home anything, and will it affect your cash flow? So these are the things when you are on the founder stage itself, you should get it finalized so that when I'm exiting, it should not burn your pocket, right?
okay.
And the non-compete process. So these are the places where you ask me whether things change or changing. These are the things that you must take into account from a financial point of view.
Okay. Okay. Any other clauses that you think are extremely important for founders to check?
Yeah, non-compete clause.
Okay.
Okay, and then sometimes non-disclosure clauses. Maybe there will be a disclosure from the parties that uh, you will not be disclosing whatever be the data, or the whatever be you will not be contacting anything like that. So these are the things that as a person one must check and then analyze and then sign.
Okay, okay, fair. Also, just a scenario here.
Yeah.
Um, we're all, as founders, dealing with multiple contracts and multiple documents, um, and we never have time, which is a big thing, right? So, if we have a contract and we need to immediately look into it or immediately sign it, what are the key aspects that we should check?
Check for any personal from a company point of view, check for the personal guarantee, check whether what is the amount of outflow and whether there are any restrictive conditions. Okay, and from a money point of view, always check the numbers and always check with your the team firm, whatever who is handling your finances. If I am signing on this, how is this going to affect our cash flow? Or does this make any sense?
Okay. Okay. Interesting. That's quite an interesting point, actually. And thank you for giving all these insights. Would you like to share a case with us, maybe a founder story when you kind of got stuck, when they had a problem when you got stuck and kind of helped them out with
Yeah,
contracts? Yeah.
uh, nothing. I mean, nothing is coming to me because one example I got it right. The case where one founder
Yeah.
has to wait for n number of days. So that
Okay,
is the one.
my quick question.
Yeah.
Um, so, personally, I read the contracts very carefully. I make sure I've learned a couple of things here today, so thank you for that. I've learned to identify gaps and to read spaces, read milestones, and read gaps in between as well. But there's no time to read subscriptions, and the subscription contracts, which are fairly huge, right?
EULA, right? EULA, nobody does that. So I think this nobody does that. Come on, let's agree on that. So I would, just in the end of A, we can at least do some research whether these kind of you can find it out whether this is having a kind of non-restrictive clause, whether are they charging 12 months if I'm canceling it. So that is one simple thing that you can do,
Okay.
and you can also figure it out from your team whether whether we need to have this for 1 month or 1 year, whichever is feasible. Because sometimes the 1 year subscriptions they will be having some discount, right? So from that point of time, from that calculation also we can work it from a money point of thing, whether taking the 1 month subscription is very good or 1 year subscription is cost benefit analysis for us.
Okay, brilliant, brilliant. What is, this is my final question. What is the one last takeaway that you'd want us to absorb?
uh, it will be like keep it simple, the contracts, keep it simple, keep it from a money point of view, Okay, and always check the leaks. Your
Always check
money leaks, money
leaks.
leaks, yes,
Okay.
outflows,
Okay.
leaks, and fix the gaps. Read it, fix the gaps. You don't have time to read it. You just uh, give it to the your AI. Ask him. I'm just saying that you should
Yeah.
sub. I'm not saying that you should uh, you should not pay for your lawyer. That is not my take. But to take that first decision, you can then you should give it for waiting, right? But for the first thing, do the basic, then ask for the expert opinion.
Okay. Okay. Fair. Thank you. Thank you. We have a question here. Our audience members saying if everything looks good in a contract but only one clause is doubtful, if we write only that clause that I don't agree and then sign, will it be acceptable?
It's always better to check with the other party also regarding that, because if one clause is having a restrictive clause, I'm not able to comment on that without seeing the whole contract or the section or which act to which it applies. So it's always better to first read the draft, communicate it with both the parties, and take the fair after getting everything in clear and then sign. Because if you're having doubt about one clause, sooner or later you will be having doubt about the other clauses also. Okay, so
Okay.
please get it vetted and then do it.
Okay. Brilliant. Any forex rules to keep in mind for founders while paying freelancers or making contracts online with international websites?
Yeah, always keep in time with the FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act. So all the inward remittances and everything, outward remittances, export procedures, all everything must be in aligned to the RBI rules and the rules of our country.
Okay. Okay. So FEMA acts and RBI rules and rules of our country is
Yes,
what
of
we need to
course. Yeah.
take care of. Okay. Okay. Brilliant. Thank you so much for today. Thank you so much for giving us so much insights and so much information. Before we go, I'll quickly ask the audience if you have any other questions as well. I don't think we have any more questions, but thank you, Lakshmi. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for giving us your insights.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you. Thank you, Rakhi. Thank you, Han.